There you are, Aaron. It took me forever to find out your new phone number. I went through so much trouble in order to find you a decent woman to marry. I even went as far as planning an extravagant wedding for you. And then you run off and marry some random floozy. And to top it all off, you moved and changed your phone number without telling me? How could you treat me this way? I suppose you aren't entirely to blame. You never were one to stand up for yourself. I have no doubt that awful woman who you married is the one putting you up to all of this. But not to worry, Aaron. It'll be fine soon. I found your new address. I'll be over there soon, and with me there to back you up, I'm sure together we can sort that harpy out. I'm just about to get in my car, so I shall be there in no time. It's clear that woman wasn't given a proper upbringing, so I'll have to fix her mother's mistakes. I'll have her whipped into shape before the month's end, Aaron. Mark my words.
Mom? What the hell is going on here?
Ah, I see you finally noticed my message. I was wondering, when would you reply? It had been almost 2 hours. I was starting to worry that woman had taken your phone from you, but since you seem to be fine, I suppose you were simply too overwhelmed with joy at the thought of your mother coming to rescue you from your misery that you were at a loss for words.
I was in a meeting. At my job. I didn't have time to check my phone until now, and I just saw your messages. And in any case I wasn't clear before, you were the last person I wanted to hear from. I told you, Mom, I'm cutting you out of my life. Got it? Now go back home.
Oh, my dear sweet Aaron, it's absolutely terrifying the grip that awful woman has on you. Ugh, I get shivers whenever I hear her name. Charity. Bleh. But as I said before, Aaron, you don't need to be afraid of her anymore. I've managed to track down your new address. There's nothing she can do to keep me from you now. I'll get right to work on fixing her up as soon as I get to your house. So don't you worry about a thing. You just focus on your work and leave all the dirty work to your dear mother.
Mom, I've told you this more times than I can remember, but Charity is my wife. She's wonderful to me. I love her, and you don't need to fix anything about her. Go home. You are not welcome at our house, and you never will be, so do not come. Do I make myself clear?
I've just turned onto your street, Aaron, to be there shortly.
Oh, for the love of God! Charity? It's me. Listen, this is very important. I need you to lock all the doors and windows and do not open them for anyone, okay? I mean it. Charity? Do not open them for anyone except me. No matter what they say, keep the doors locked. Pretend you aren't home.
Aaron, what's going on? You're scaring me.
It's my mom. I don't know how, but she managed to find our new address.
What?
She just messaged me a minute ago saying that she was on our street, so she'll probably be there soon. Do you hear anything outside?
Well, actually, I just got to my client's office a little while ago. I have a meeting with them in a little bit, so yeah, I'm not at home right now and won't be for a while.
Really? Oh yeah, you did mention that earlier.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not home at the moment, so you don't need to worry about me letting her in. When she sees that no one's there, she's gonna turn around and go back home, right?
Just in case, I think we'd better book a room at a hotel for tonight. Do you have your valuables on you?
Yeah, I carry around whatever is carryable. Just like you said, anything that's too big to fit in my bag I left at my parents' house.
Okay. Sounds like we're in the clear for now. Anyway, thanks. I guess the next order of business is to find a new apartment as soon as possible. Man, it's time like this that make me really happy that we're both fortunate enough to get jobs that let us work from home.
Yeah, for real. If we were working at a regular company, it would be a lot harder for us to up and move to a different place in an emergency. Imagine if you had to keep living there even after your mom found us.
Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. And Charity, I'm really sorry that my mom is causing so much trouble for us.
Aaron, I keep telling you, you don't need to apologize for anything. I knew exactly what I was getting into when I married you, and I said yes, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did. Thanks, Charity. Okay, well, I'm gonna get us a hotel room. I'll message you again once I make the reservation.
Okay, no rush. Gonna go talk to my client now. Bye. Ah, what is it with this city? Every single street looks exactly the same. I feel like I've been going in circles for the last half an hour. Whatever made you think it would be a good idea to move to this god-forsaken place? But not to worry. I finally found your place, Aaron. Isn't this exciting? We're about to embark on a new journey as a family, just the two of us, and that awful wife of yours who will be reforming. We'll give her all the tough love she needs to straighten her out, and if she resists, then you'll divorce her immediately. Ah, and you don't need to worry about being lonely when she's gone. I've already got the perfect woman lined up for you to marry. She's just like your dear old mother. Aaron, what is the meaning of all this? You never told me Charity was pregnant, and she looks like she could give birth any second now. That awful little brat tried to stop me from coming in the house, so I gave her a bit of a smack. Out of love, of course. Spare the rod and spoil the child. She's going to have to get used to a new way of life, and it's better she does than sooner than later. But in any case, your apartment really is something else. Aaron, it's gorgeous. I feel like I could fit my whole house inside the living room. There should be more than enough space for me to put my things. So tell me, Aaron, what about time were you planning on being home tonight? I'm having Charity make me a bite to eat for lunch right now, since I thought it would be a good plan to start her cooking training right away. So if you have any requests for dinner, let me know and I'll have her start working on it just as she finishes making my lunch. Anything you want, dear, just name it.
Mom? Hold on. Back up 1 second. You're already at our apartment? Exactly when did you get there?
A few moments ago, dear, I told you I would find you, didn't I? Seriously, though, imagine my shock when I find out that I would become a grandmother in less than a month. Granted, I do have my share of issues with the child maternal lineage, but not to worry, I'm an expert in discipline, so I'll have any of his mother's traits wiped out of him by the time he enters elementary school.
Wait. Child?
Yes, my grandchild. And since I'll be living with the two of you, I'll always be there to ensure that awful wife of yours doesn't have too much of a negative influence.
Mom? Charity isn't pregnant.
What are you talking about?
Also, Charity isn't at home either. She's with me right now.
That's impossible. She's in the kitchen right now.
When I found out you were coming, I booked us a room at a hotel for the night to keep from having to deal with you. We're both at the station right now. She just got off her train, and we're about to head to the hotel.
How many times do I have to tell you she's right here? She's making my lunch as we speak. She can't be with you.
I have no idea what's going on right now, but... Mom, please don't tell me that you just barged into the apartment and started acting like you own the place.
What's wrong with that? It's your apartment. So since I'm your mother, I do own the place in a way, a fact which that awful woman seemed not to understand. Where did she get off threatening to call the police on me? It seems as though I have my work cut out for me straightening her up. It's dreadful that she doesn't even give me the proper respect to the mother of the man who's financing her selfish, greedy lifestyle.
I'm not financing anything, Mom. We both work. And that's completely besides the point. Mom, I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to say.
What is it, dear?
The apartment you're in right now is not ours. You stormed into the wrong apartment.
Nonsense.
Listen, Mom, Charity is with me. She's standing right beside me. And she's not 9 months pregnant. She's not even 1 month pregnant. She's not pregnant at all. And our apartment is not that big. It's a studio apartment. There's barely enough room for us, much less you and all of your stuff.
You're not making any sense.
Let me ask you something. What makes you think the address you're at right now is our address? How did you find it?
Oh well, a friend of mine who lives near you said they saw you moving your bags into this apartment, so they told me the address.
That's odd. When did this happen, exactly?
Well, I suppose it's been out 6 months or so. So I started planning out my re-education plan for your awful wife and saving up money for the move. And once everything was settled, I headed over there right away.
Oh, okay. I think I get what happened now.
What is it? What happened?
The place you're at right now is about 10 minutes away from a big shopping mall down the road from an elementary school, right?
Yes, why?
You said it was 6 months ago, so that would put it roughly 3 months after I formally cut you out of my life. That apartment belonged to a friend of mine from college. He and his wife were living there. They were kind enough to let us stay there for 2 weeks while we got an apartment sorted out.
2 weeks?
Yeah. The residents of the apartment we were moving into still had 2 weeks left on their lease, so we just had to wait until they were all moved out. So, yeah, it wasn't a permanent living arrangement. We were only there for a short time.
So, the woman in the kitchen right now isn't your wife, it's your friend's wife? Oh my goodness gracious! Do be a dear and call them to explain the situation. I'm sure they'll understand it's coming from you.
I'm not finished. My friends moved out of that apartment months ago.
What? Oh no, Aaron, this is terrible. The woman here, she called her husband and he just came home. He started yelling at me and I was so terrified that I ran and locked myself in their bathroom. What should I do now? Help me.
So, as I was saying, the people living in the apartment that you just barged into, they're not us. They're not my friends. They're not my friends' friends. I have no idea who they are.
That can't be.
To summarize, you just barged into someone's apartment, assaulted a 9 months pregnant woman, and are now locked in their bathroom and refusing to leave. In the business, that's what they call trespassing?
That wasn't my intention at all.
Well, intentional or not, once the police get there, I think you're looking at a mandatory ride to the station.
Police?
My wife? As in my real wife, and not the woman who you just assaulted because you thought she was my wife? Just got off the phone with the local police department and explained the situation.
Oh no! Oh no! What should I do now?
What choice do you have? Explain yourself and apologize, and maybe they won't press charges.
Apologize? Why should I have to do that?
Well, in this case, I would say the most pertinent reason is because you slapped a pregnant woman and forced her to make you lunch for the trouble?
But it was an honest mistake.
I don't believe this. Are you for real? You've met Charity so many times, yet you still managed to forget what she looked like and confuse her with some random stranger?
Well...
And I mean, it's not like you forgot her name. At any point in your escapades today, did you think even just once to address her by name? That would have saved you a lot of trouble, I think.
But that's... It was obviously her. She had the key to your apartment and everything. Well, the apartment I thought was yours, so when I saw her open the door and go in, I knew it had to be her.
Oh, and one other thing. Even after I got married and told you, repeatedly, that I don't need or want you to find a wife for me, you went ahead with your plans anyway, didn't you? What kind of inconsiderate, unthinking, oblivious moron are you? My God in heaven. When your husband divorces you, and your only son disowns you, I'd say most people would stop and think, gee, maybe I'm the problem here. But not you!
Aaron?
Whatever. I'm done with you. Enjoy prison, you psychopath.
Aaron, I can't believe you. You're my son. I'm your mother. You have to help me. Hurry up and do something. You can't speak to me that way. Aaron, pick up this instant.
My mom was taken into custody by the local police, and, after consulting with the poor people she barged in on, she was charged with trespassing, assault and battery, and a few other crimes. She evaded prison time due to her age, but now she had to deal with the inconveniences of having a criminal record. While she was busy dealing with the fallout of her trial and conviction, I talked with Charity's parents, and as of today, I have officially changed my name and no longer have any connections, legal or otherwise, to my mother. It hit her pretty hard when she heard the news through the grapevine. Fortunately, she had never visited my in-laws' house and has no way of finding out where they live, so I don't think we'll be hearing from her ever again. But, just in case, I went ahead and got a legal restraining order against her. As for what she's doing now, my aunt told me that she had holed herself up in her house for days after she got back from the police station. She got fired from her job, and now she has to deal with finding new work with a criminal record to her name in order to pay off the damages she owes to that couple. Oh, and speaking of them, they called the other day and said she had given birth to a healthy baby boy. I'm really happy for them. I have a feeling that child will grow up in a much better environment than I did.
Hey there, Chuck. I was just wondering if you knew where the materials that we were going to use for the meeting were. I see some of it in the documents here, but this isn't everything. Do you happen to have the rest of them? What the heck do you think you're doing messaging me at this time, huh? You think I climbed this high in the corporate ladder so that I could have some nobody bothering me after work hours? What materials are you even talking about? I am talking about the things that we need for the meeting that we're going to be having tomorrow. I thought that our department head assigned you to get those ready for tomorrow, didn't she? Oh, those documents. I think the ones that you're talking about, I know. I just figured that since the meeting isn't gonna be until the afternoon, that I could wait until tomorrow morning to get the rest of them done. No, hold on a second. You were going to wait until tomorrow to get all those documents done? Don't you remember that we got the memo from the headquarters saying that they wanted to move the meeting from tomorrow afternoon to 10 in the morning? Wait, what? When was this? I don't remember any memo going out about changing the meeting time. But Chuck, you were the one that forwarded us all of that when it came through. Don't you remember doing that? Are you kidding me? Did I really do that? I don't remember anything of the sort. But you even told us that in the same email that you were gonna make the materials ahead of schedule and you were gonna get them done so that we can review them before the meeting. Did I really say that? I don't have the slightest memory about any of that. Well, there was even the bit in the memo where we could respond and that we had all seen it and marked them as read as well. But is this really true? I don't remember doing any of this at all. Chuck, you seriously need to go back to the office and finish up all these documents right away. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do that. You're my subordinate, you should do it all. Hold on a minute, you're really gonna give me all the work just because you were leaving to do them at the last minute? That's right, I'm your boss and I have a right to distribute work as I see fit. So now it's your problem and not mine. Look, Chuck, I'm really sorry, but I've got to make materials for another meeting, so I have my hands full with that. If you're really making materials for one, then surely you should be able to handle making enough for two. It's hardly even more work for you at that point. Well, I just think that it's gonna take me a lot of time to get everything done in time. You really are a lazy guy, you know that. When I first heard that we were hiring someone with only a high school diploma, I was wondering what the higher-ups would be thinking. But now I see that my first impression of you was right. You have no idea what you're talking about at all, so let me make this very clear to you. You will do what I say when I say it. You know that you can't just treat the employees like this, right? I mean, you're not being fair at all. No, I am being more than fair right now. In fact, I'm giving you special training so that you'll become an even better employee. That is why you're gonna do the work that I give to you, and you're gonna be thankful for the opportunity to prove yourself to me. Anyways, I'm just getting home right now, so make sure you have everything done by tomorrow, got it? Chuck, wait, you can't do this. Hey, George, are you there? I just heard the big news. Is it true that you really got married? I had no idea that you were even dating anyone. Hello, Chuck. Are you wanting to know more about my marriage? Well, I just heard about it from the first time from someone in the office when we were in the break room together. I really didn't know that you were about to get married. Well, I was, and am now, I guess. Is there anything else that you'd like to know? Is it true that when you got married, you also bought a house at the same time? Actually, we haven't bought anything yet, but we are already talking about buying a home for the two of us, yes. Now that my wife and I are married, we have a lot of big decisions to make about our future. I don't believe it. You mean to tell me that some loser who can only have a high school diploma can afford to get married and is thinking about buying a house? You really have got some nerve, you know that? I mean, just who do you think you are? You think you're better than me or something? Here we go again. I just mean that if you're married, then your wife must be a bit of a weirdo too. If this lady thinks it's a good idea to marry someone in your position, then you're either lying to her, or there's something wrong with her too. Maybe you're just with her because she's all messed up and does crazy stuff in the bedroom. Is that why you two are married? Chuck, I don't care at all what you have to say to me. You can insult me and put me down all you want, but I draw the line at you saying anything that vulgar about my wife, do you understand me? Excuse me? Just who do you think you're talking to like that? You seriously have got some nerve. I just want to make something clear with you, Chuck. The reason that I wasn't able to go to college after I finished high school was because my dad died. My family didn't have the money to send me to college after that. I had to work to help take care of the rest of my family. So I really appreciate it if you would stop talking to me as if you know my life or what I've gone through before I got here, okay? Because not only is it rude, but it's also against the rules of how you can treat people in the office. As a department supervisor, you need to choose your words more carefully and think about what the boss should and shouldn't be saying in the office. Just who in the world do you think you are? Telling me how I can and can't talk in the office, huh? Do you think you're the boss around here? Who died and made you the compliance officer for the whole office? Well, I don't think that anyone died, but you are right that I have been selected as this year's compliance officer. Wait, are you serious? You're really the CEO for the office this year? That's right. Anyways, I got a meeting with our department heads to attend to and some clients, so I gotta leave now. Hold on just 1 second. Are you telling me that you're working directly with the department heads? But you can't just skip over me and work with her. What the heck is going on here? How is someone who doesn't even have a college degree like you doing this, huh? I wanna be there too. You tell me where you all are right now. If you want to go look at the office schedule board, all this should already be written there in a very clear way to understand, manager. I'll be going straight home after this, however, so I really do have to get going right now. Hey, we're not through here! Don't you run away from me, I still have things I gotta ask you!
Hey there, George. I just wanted to let you know that I think you did a really great job today. It seems to me like you've been making some real great improvements ever since you started working there.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me that you're saying that. And I certainly didn't expect to be treated to Lucy's cooking after we finished work.
Well, she was really hoping to get to do that with you, actually. I told her that we were going to be working together, and then you were going home after a meeting. But when I told her, she told me to invite you over for dinner instead. She was so excited that she told me that she was going to go out right away and buy something to cook for us to dinner.
Well, thank you so much for your kindness. It really does mean so much to me.
Well, I'm not the one that you should be saying thanks to, you know?
You're right. Please tell Lucy how grateful I am for her thinking about me like that. Tell her the dinner was delicious.
Of course, I'll be sure to do that. And I'm sorry to be asking you to work a little tomorrow even though it's Saturday.
You mean about seeing you off at the train station? I can do that, no problem. You wanted me to pick you up and take you over at about 8 in the morning, right?
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, George, do you really live in a place like this? I really can't believe it. I was really surprised when you told me the company made you the compliance officer. I thought it meant that you were in there with some of the bigwigs here. And you have a place like this, too. I have to say that I'm actually just a bit impressed by this. I mean, I never would have guessed you to have a place like this. But it doesn't change the fact that you still don't even have a degree from a university. You're still a no one. You really must think that just because you have this job that you can try and get a leg up on everyone, huh? Well, just know that I'll never let you forget who you really are. Hey there, George. I just wanted to let you know that I'm having a really great barbecue. I was gonna invite you to it as well, but I heard that you were going to be out of town doing something. Hello there, Chuck. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, actually. What is this about? Oh, I didn't tell ya. I was gonna be having a little barbecue party, and I was thinking of inviting you, but I guess you weren't here to be able to enjoy it. Well, yeah, I did have something to do this morning, but it's not like I'm out of town or anything like that. I'm actually already home right now. Oh man, this meat is good, and you're not gonna get to eat any of it. Okay. You enjoy that, I guess, Chuck. Hey George, you still there? I got something to tell you about right now, so answer me as soon as you get this message, okay? Hello again, Chuck? Yeah, I normally don't hear anything from you this often when it's the weekend, so what is it this time? Oh, I just wanted to let you know that I was having a barbecue at your house and there was a fire. Wait, what? A fire? You had a fire at your barbecue party? Is everyone okay? Well, I'm actually going home, but I was having the barbecue party at your house, so anyways, good luck putting that fire out. I'm gonna come back once the fire is put out to get all my supplies that I brought over, but you might want to deal with the fire going on in your lawn, bro. Hold on just 1 second, Chuck. Wait, you're telling me that you don't actually live in a house, like you live in an apartment? Yeah, I have an apartment room on the 3rd floor of my building, actually, so I'm not really sure what you mean when you say that you were having a barbecue at my house, much less my lawn. Hold on a second, what do you mean? Are you serious about all this? I am. Did you even bother calling the fire department about any of this? No, I was gonna leave it all to you, actually. Well, you better call them right now, because wherever you are, that isn't my house. Oh, Cecile, well, what an honor it is getting a message straight from you. It isn't every day that I hear from you. Please tell me what I can do for you. To what do I owe the honor?
I was just wanting to talk to you about this business with you, trying to start a fire at the house of one of our employees?
Oh, that, right, of course. Well, the one thing I was trying to do was pull a prank on George, and I think I went kind of a little wrong. He told me that I could have a barbecue at his house if I wanted to, but then he gave me the wrong address, so anyway, I ended up going to the wrong house, and I guess you know the rest from there.
Right, well, that so-called wrong house was actually my house.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? That was your house?
That's right, it was my house. And I wouldn't have minded as much if there was just a little bit of damage. But the thing is that the fire spread to my prize-winning rose garden and completely destroyed it.
So it really was your house then? You really mean that?
That's right. It was my house. And I just want you to know that I'm going over the damage that you've caused. Not only to the roses, but to my garden in general, as well as a tree that was designated as historic by the city. So just know that I'm going to be charging you for all of that.
You're really gonna make me pay for all that? Are you serious? How could you do this to me? You never told me the house that you were sending me to was Cecile's. I didn't send you anything, although I did hear from one of Cecile's neighbors that they weren't able to put out the fire in time, that they did remember talking to you. They told me that you told them that you had permission from Cecile to do what you were doing. You're honestly lucky that your fire didn't end up burning the whole house down, you know that? I mean, did you really do all that just because you thought that it was my house? But, I mean, you told me that, you just got married and had gotten a new house, so I thought that I would go and check out what the new house was that you were living in. And that's why I was saying that I was really surprised about your house. I had no idea how a little nobody like you could afford such an amazing place with a perfect yard like that. I see. So basically you're saying that you thought that Cecile's house was actually mine? But, I mean, I saw you go up to this house after you finished up with work the other day. So how is it that you don't live there? Are you talking about a couple of days ago, when I went home from work that day? That's right. I just happened to see your car while I was out, and so I got into mine, and I thought that I would follow you home so I could make fun of where you lived. And then when you arrived, there was some pretty lady that came outside to greet you, so I was sure that you must have been, where you were living with your wife. Well, I don't know what else to say, but that's not my house, and that is not where I live with my wife. But how can that be? What did I even see then? You do remember that I told you that I was talking with my wife about where we were gonna live, right? I told you that we were still talking about where our house was gonna be. Did you really say that to me? I don't remember that at all. Are you sure that's what you told me about where you and your wife would be living? That's right. I'm sure that I told you that my wife and I hadn't decided on where we were gonna live yet. I'm sure that if you scroll up throughout our other conversations that you will say that I told you just that much as well. But then, I don't understand. Why were you going to Cecile's house then? Well, that would be because after I finished work the other day, I was invited there by Cecile, if you must know. And the other person who came out to greet me was actually Cecile's daughter, my wife. You're kidding me! That's right, so basically you thought that my mother-in-law's house was my house because my wife is still living there while we settled on a good place to move to. But then, what does that mean for me? What's gonna happen now? That sounds like something that's gonna be settled between you and Cecile. In the end, Chuck was fired. Not only was his out-of-work conduct considered unacceptable, but HR acted on the many reports of his non-compliance with office rules that I made. I imagine that he was probably charged with some kind of mix of breaking and entering and arson, but I never really asked Cecile what she did after Chuck was fired.
Hey Tyler, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that the hospital let me out. You know, now that I'm done giving birth to our children and all.
Oh, really? I didn't know they were going to be letting you out today. I thought I would have a little bit more time to myself.
Well, I am out of the hospital today. They tell me that I've recovered and there's no point in being here anymore.
Darn. I really did think that they were going to keep you there for just a little bit longer.
Tyler, we talked about this. Before I went into the hospital, you asked me about how long I thought I would be in there, remember? I told you that in most cases they tend to not keep mothers and their babies there at the hospital for more than a week. But more important than that, you said you were going to come and pick me up and take me home. Don't tell me you forgot.
Oh, darn, I guess I did say something like that, didn't I?
Tyler, what is the matter with you? You really need to pull yourself together. I mean, you're a father now, don't you realize that? Not only that, but you're a father to twins. I know that this is the first time for us both being parents, but this right now is not giving me a lot of hope for the future. You've got to pull yourself together.
Why don't you just settle down there, okay? I'm sure that you're not supposed to be getting all uppity like that right after you've had a child, right? I can't be good for you.
Excuse me? Who do you think you are talking to me like that when you're the one who forgot to come pick up your wife and 2 children?
Yeah, I guess you might have a point there.
Ugh, I literally can't even with you sometimes, Tyler. Well, can you at least tell me where you are right now? Are you at home? Are you still at work? Where are you?
Sorry, I'm just a little busy right now, and I don't think I'm going to be able to come and get you all. Maybe just call a cab or something?
What do you mean you're busy? You're too busy to come and pick up your wife and meet your 2 children for the first time ever? What could you possibly be so busy with that you can't come and get us? And just where are you anyways?
I'm actually in Hawaii right now.
What do you mean you're in Hawaii? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke? Why are you over there?
Well, because I'm traveling around with an old friend of mine. That's why.
What do you mean an old friend? Who on earth could you be with right now? Unless you're not talking about your childhood neighbor. What's her name? Danny?
You guessed it. I'm with Danny right now. She actually moved kind of nearby recently because of a promotion she got in her job, and we reconnected around then.
Well, is there anyone else that the 2 of you are there with right now?
Not at all. It's just the 2 of us together right now.
Hold on a second. So you're telling me that you've abandoned your wife and newborn children so that you could go on some island getaway with your old friend? How could you do this to us? What's the matter with you, Tyler? This is just unacceptable.
You really are reading way too much into this. Why do you always freak out over the smallest things, huh? Besides, you want to talk about being worried for the future, but you're talking to me like this? How am I supposed to feel good about you as the mother of our children when you're telling me that you can't even take care of 2 kids on your own?
Are you kidding me right now? You're telling me that I'm not doing enough for us right now?
I mean that I've been talking to Danny a lot about becoming parents, and she had plenty to tell me about having twins. She told me that even though they're born on the same day, it's basically the same as having 2 kids over the course of a few years. You always said you wanted to have 2 kids, and now you have them. So if you really meant what you said, that I don't see why having twins and taking care of them by yourself would really be that much of a big deal. Besides, they're twins. They have a special bond between them that probably makes it even easier than just raising one kid would be.
What on earth are you talking about? Do you really think that any of that is true? You can't be serious, right?
I'm just saying that I don't think you should be crying about how you can't do things when you haven't even given it a shot.
It's not that I'm saying I can't do it. It's that you're their father and my husband, and I want you here to help me.
Oh, sorry. Danny is saying that it's time to go. I don't really have time to keep up this conversation anymore.
Tyler! You aren't just going to leave me like this, are you? You wouldn't dare.
I'm really sorry, Erica, but if you can't calm down and act like a responsible parent, then maybe you and I should get divorced.
What? A divorce? Right after we had our children? What is the matter with you?
I mean, it's only 2 little babies and you're acting like I'm asking you for some kind of impossible task or something. But I think that you should be really grateful to Danny and I for giving you this chance to get so much experience with raising children. So I just hope that this encourages you and that you can learn to get over yourself and do what's best for our family, okay? Anyways, I've got to go. Have a good time with the kids.
I should be grateful to you and Danny? Do you really think that I don't see what you're doing here, Tyler? But fine, I understand. You have a good trip. I'll have so much to tell you when you get back.
Hey, Danny, how are things going? Are you still getting your pedicure done?
No, I just finished a little bit ago, actually. Right now I'm just sitting in the hotel lobby, sipping on some coffee and just enjoying the lovely weather. But I'll be back up there soon, don't you worry.
Okay, sounds good to me. Thanks for letting me know.
But I thought I told you that I was going to go up to the room when I was done anyways, right? I'm just curious, was there a particular reason why you reached to me like this when you knew I wouldn't be much longer?
Well, actually, I got a message from my wife. Apparently, she was let out of the hospital today.
Oh, really? I see. Is that it? What do you want me to do about it?
No, it's no big deal or anything. I just wanted to let you know that I told Erica about the things that you were telling me. Like how twins are basically just like skipping ahead to having 2 kids and how this is a good chance for Erica to gain some experience as a mother and all that.
I see. Well, I'm glad that I was able to be of some help to you, too. Anyways, I'm just about ready to head back up to the room. I can't wait for you to see all the work that I ended up having done at the salon. I promise to give you a good look at it all.
Oh, wow, I can't wait. I'll get the room ready for you then. You go ahead and do that, Danny, because after I go up, I'm not going to want to leave the room until the next morning. So get ready.
Oh, wow. I can't wait for that. See you in a bit then.
Hey, Erica, are you there? What the heck is going on here? I got back home today. I'm standing in front of our house, but my key doesn't seem to work on the lock. What's this about?
Oh, you're finally back from your trip? Well, let me be the first to say welcome back, Tyler. But I'm afraid that I don't live in that apartment any longer.
What are you talking about? You moved somewhere new?
Well, I just mean that I lived in that apartment even before you and I were together, and when you moved in, it was already pretty cramped. But now that I have these twins to hurry about, I just figured that it was time that I moved somewhere bigger, somewhere I could raise a family. So I canceled our lease and moved into the place where I'm at now.
Oh, I see. But could you at least tell me where it is that you moved to?
You want me to tell you the address of the new place where I'm living? Nah, I'm okay, thanks.
But I don't understand. Why wouldn't you want me to know where it is that you're living right now?
Well, I guess I'm just still trying to take advantage of the chance you gave me to learn how to be a good mother to these twins. In fact, I don't think that we should see each other at all until I've really gotten the hang of this.
But wait. When will that be? Because you're making it sound like it's going to be a really long time.
Oops, one of the twins started crying. I've got to go now, but it's been nice catching up.
Just 1 second. I haven't even seen my children once, and now you're telling me I'll have to meet them? And now you're telling me I'll have to wait even longer to meet them? Come on, just tell me where you're living now. Where am I supposed to go if you got rid of our apartment?
What is the matter with you, Tyler? Why did you just show up to my place completely unannounced?
Danny, finally. I was wondering when you were going to text me. Who was that guy I saw you with? What were the two of you doing together?
You know that I live with my husband, Tyler. Don't play dumb. I thought I told you that you were never, ever to come over to my house except the days that I tell you he's not going to be there.
Wait, so that guy was your husband then?
Of course he is. Or was. I don't know anymore, thanks to you, now that he knows about the affair. Do you have any idea what you've cost me? Here I was, thinking that I finally settled things with a man who was in line to be the next president of his company. But now you might have ruined this for me.
Don't go blaming that on me. How was I supposed to know any of that? Besides, I don't even have a place to go back home to. That's why I had to go to your house.
Well, there is no place for you here, so just go away and leave me alone for a bit.
But I'm telling you that I don't have anywhere that I could even go back to. And my parents live on the other side of the country, so I can't even go to them for help either. I don't have anywhere I can go.
Well then, go rent a room at a hotel or something, and then tomorrow you can go fly away to be with your parents. But just know that if my marriage gets ruined because of this, you're going to be in big, big trouble.
Erica, are you there? Please, you have to get back to me right away. Did you tell my parents that I was having an affair with Danny?
Sorry, what are you going on about now, Tyler?
Now you listen to me. Thanks to you canceling the lease on your apartment, I didn't have anywhere that I could go home to. So I bought a plane ticket to go and try to stay with my parents, but when I got there, both of them were furious with me and my mom even slapped me in the face. Not only that, but even my little brother was shoving me around because he was so upset. Then my dad walked up to me, told me that they were going to take me out of their will, and then kick me out of their house.
Oh, wow. Well, it sounds to me like you've found yourself in quite the mess, haven't you?
What is that supposed to mean? Did you have something to do with this? I knew that you did.
Before we get into that can of worms, you should know that both your parents came to my parents' house to apologize to me.
My parents visited you? Just to apologize?
That's right. They did all of this about 2 days ago. I think they might have felt compelled to do so after I showed them all the information my private detective had on you. Then I told them about how I was going to divorce you because of what he found, and well, I guess you know the rest.
You hired someone to follow and collect information on me? Why would you do that?
Now why do people hire PIs to follow their spouses? Let's think about that, shall we?
You mean you knew about Danny and I?
Knew about you two? Oh, please, you hardly even bothered trying to hide it from me. The PI ended up giving me a discounted rate by the time he finished all his work. He said you made it too easy for him and that he felt bad charging me the full price. But anyways, since I have all this evidence, it isn't going to be hard at all to sue the two of you for your affair.
Okay, let's just calm down a little bit here, Erica. I mean, you don't really want to sue us, right? You wouldn't dare. Please, I thought that it was really going to be easy for you to raise those kids. I never thought that you were going to divorce me over this.
Do you really think I was ever buying any of that nonsense that you were trying to sell me?
What do you mean by that?
I mean about you saying that having twins is fine for people who wanted 2 kids in the first place because it's just like a shortcut to having them. Or that because of the bonds twins have, that it might even be easier than raising a single baby on my own? You think I was listening to any of that garbage that you were trying to justify your own actions with?
What do you mean? I really thought it was all true. I mean, that's what Danny told me was true anyways.
And just what in the world does she even know about having twins? And how are you trying to get out of being there for your children while putting it all on me? You're a pathetic excuse for a father and a husband. Do you know that?
You don't really mean that, do you? Please. I had no idea that you were going to get so upset over this.
Oh, I am way past being upset about this. But right now, the only thing that I want from you is your signature on our divorce papers.
Divorce? Please, you can't really mean that, right? I mean, you were just going on about how difficult it's going to be to raise twins on your own. How are you going to raise our kids if I'm not there to help you?
No, please. It's clear to me now that I would never, ever be able to count on you in the first place.
But I'm their father. How can you say that?
Oh, so now you want to be a father to your children? It sure didn't seem that way when I was in labor. You were busy running away to Hawaii to cheat on me while I did all the hard work. And I'm sure you do the same thing over and over again.
Of course I wouldn't. Don't you see that I'm trying to fix things right now? I want to be there for you and the kids now.
Well, you can explain your side of the story to my lawyer, because I'm done with this.
I mean, you really already hired a lawyer for all of this?
Of course I did. Not to mention that I sent all of your things from my apartment to Danny's address.
You did what?
Well, it sounds to me like since your parents don't want you around, she's all you have left. Anyways, after I sue the both of you, I don't really care what happens to either of you. So have a nice life, Tyler. In the end, all of Tyler's things were delivered to Danny's house, and her already suspicious husband had all the proof he needed that something was up. I reached out to him in secret and shared the files my PI had gathered, and then he knew the whole truth. We both decided to sue Tyler and Danny for their affairs behind our backs, and we both got a big payout for all their dishonesty. I also made sure that Tyler would have to pay child support for both our children until they became adults. After her divorce, I'm not sure what happened to Danny. I heard that she tried to move back in with her parents, but that they had already heard about how she cheated. Like Tyler's family, they berated her with disappointment and finally kicked her out of the house forever. Tyler, meanwhile, fell into so much debt after the lawsuit and divorce that he had to take on a second job to afford all his payments. I hear that with no place to go, he had to move into a tiny apartment where he lives all by himself. The only reminder I have that he exists at all are the checks I get in the mail monthly. After I moved out of my apartment, I ended up moving back in with my parents for the time being. I was so distraught just having the twins and losing my husband all in the same short span of time. But I was so lucky that they happily took me in. It's much easier to raise children when you have a support network of people willing to step up for you. I've already moved out, however, finding a job in an apartment large enough for my children and I to live in. But we still live close enough for me to ask my parents to babysit when I need them to. Keith, let's start with you giving me a detailed explanation for all that's happened so far.
Asking me for an explanation, huh?
Today is supposed to be the day that my little sister has her wedding with someone, but why on the day of her wedding were you showing up to it wearing the groom's tuxedo? When I saw you walking in on my sister's wedding day as the groom, I was more shocked than actually angered with you. Even now, I'm having a hard time showing any other emotions besides shock because of how outlandish you've been.
Well, as you've pretty much seen everything for what it is, I shouldn't have to give you an explanation for what's going on here.
No, I deserve an explanation for all of that because I currently cannot believe my eyes.
Oh, for crying out loud. I guess there's no way I'm getting out of this without giving you a rundown, so I'll give you that explanation. I'm going to get married to your little sister, Joy, okay? I'm sorry for keeping all that a secret from you. Now, can we get to the part where you divorce me?
Huh? Since when have you been going after my sister, and when did she start to think it was okay to marry my husband?
Well, about half a year ago, I started to talk with her about my feelings towards her. She was working at the bar that I loved to go to a lot back then, and when she came up to me to get my order, she asked me if I was her sister's husband or not. That, I guess, is what you would actually consider the start to all this. And, well, from that point on, I tried my hardest to resist her looks, but man, did the image of me being her in my mind look amazing. And bam! She had a hold of me, and there was no other way for me to free myself anymore.
So you really were taken away by her looks?
Huh?
I know that I've already let you in on this whole story before, but let me explain to you one more time the reason for why I left my family behind 5 years ago.
What? Why would I need to hear about that again?
My sister, Joy, she, for some reason, takes a liking in stealing anything I lay my hands on, whether that be things or people. And as for my parents, they're the kind of people that look past her doing that sort of stuff to me and love her with all their heart. So to escape such a hellish environment as that, I ran away from my home, leaving everyone in my family behind to start a new life where I didn't have to worry about Joy. Don't you remember when I told you the reason why I couldn't introduce you to my family before we were married was because of that reason? I guess you don't, because in the end, even you, Keith, Even you became another part of my sister's hobby and have been stolen away from me.
Oh, come on now. I'm sure that you might just think that your sister is stealing me away from you without any actual emotion to it, but she really does love me, and I love her even more back. And you, of all people, being her sister, should be glad that she's finally found someone like me that makes her so happy. You being not happy to see that just shows how horrible of a person that you really are inside.
And the same could be said of someone that tries to have a wedding with his wife's little sister even before getting a divorce.
Excuse me?
To be honest, I never even wanted to be at my sister's wedding today. Well, either way, I'm going to head home now after this.
Hey. Things have only just begun, and I want you around to see it.
Do you actually think I want to stick around and see the end?
Huh?
You went out and told everyone that you divorced me, and that's how you got all your friends to make it to the wedding today. But those friends of yours that you went out talking to happened to be my friends as well, and figured out right away that something was wrong when the invitation said you'd be marrying my little sister. This isn't going to end well for you, Keith.
Huh? The friends that we both get along with know about this? I don't remember telling any of my friends who are your friends as well about this.
You did, but I won't tell you who. But those friends of ours saw that you sent invitations that you planned to marry my little sister. They were shocked to see that, but were even more shocked that you were doing all of this to me after everyone thought we had such a good relationship. Either way, people know just how messed up all of this is, and the word will start to spread, and everyone will begin to leave.
What?
You can choose to continue with the wedding if you'd like, but don't expect there to be many people remaining after learning about the crap you're trying to pull. Be ready to have the whole world pointing fingers at you for what you've done and calling you a freak and an idiot.
What? That's... Your sister and I were supposed to have a beautiful wedding today and be celebrated by everyone we invited.
Well, with that, in a few days, let's start talks about the settlement I plan to ask from you.
You're planning to ask for money from me now?
And don't plan on coming home today, okay? I don't want to see your face right now, and I don't want to be sleeping in the same house as you anymore.
Wait, Heidi.
I'll be going now. What the heck, Heidi? Hurry up and get everyone to come back to our wedding. Huh? Why are you asking me, of all people, to do that? If you want them all back there watching your messed up wedding, then you go get them yourself. But you're the one that did all of this, so you have to get them back here or else they won't listen to me. Just because your husband left you for me because I'm better in every way doesn't mean you can just start talking bad about us and getting everyone to leave the wedding we planned out. What the heck are you thinking? I didn't do anything to make those people start leaving. Those people were all told by a friend of mine, and they chose themselves to believe your wedding is messed up and leave. And I was out of there before everyone else started to leave, so how's that my fault? I'm not responsible for their actions, nor am I going to be responsible for getting them to turn around and go back to you. So go out and get them yourself. Come back here right now! Heidi! It's been destroyed. You may have ruined my whole wedding with what you did, but I'm still going to be married to Keith, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now just divorce him already so that I can have him. I am going to hand in our marriage papers soon, and then make sure that his parents understand that I'll be his new wife. Do you even know where his parents live? What the heck are you talking about? You are living with them right now, right? Huh? Those 60-year-old people that you're living with are his parents, right? I really want to come over there and introduce myself to them, but you're always sitting in their house with them and it's driving me nuts. Can you please hurry up and get lost already? Wait, could you be mistaking my foster parents for his parents right now? Huh? Foster parents? After I left you guys in that house, I had gone out saying that I was a foster child who had no parents. And that's when I was able to find my foster parents who took me in even though I was already in my late teens. Did you not hear about any of this from Dad? Just wait a second. That means that the gorgeous house that Keith and you have been living in is... This is the house of my foster dad. Then what about Keith's parents? To be honest, I've never met either one of them either. He told me that right after he got into college, his parents went through a tough divorce and then moved off to different places without him. And ever since then, he's been without parents, and that all happened a while back, and he's never even heard from them since. Neither of us even know where they went, to tell you the truth. Huh? So I've never met either of his parents, and he was at least able to meet my foster parents before we had our wedding. Are you kidding me? So you never even talked with Keith about who the older couple is that we've been living with? Because if you asked him whether they were his parents or not, you would have gotten your answer a whole lot sooner. He just told me that I wouldn't be able to see them at the wedding. Well, him being vague with you about it and there being no explanation isn't my problem, but I will say this. Your reason for wanting to marry Keith hasn't been for him, but rather this amazingly beautiful house that I live in right now, right? Well, you getting to live in that house all by yourself with that older couple isn't fair. So that's why I looked for your husband, and when I found the bar he went to often, I applied for a job there and was able to make my move. I planned to marry him so that I could get that house and live there as well. And what about the name on that house? I made sure to double check the last name on that house and everything. And I can confirm that the last name on that house is the same as Keith's. And that's because Keith took my new last name in the marriage. Huh? When I was adopted by my foster parents after running away from mom and dad, they helped me change my last name since I'm legally their child now. And so that would mean that both Keith and I share the same last name as the owners of this house. That's why the name on the house is the same as his last name, right? What the heck? How am I supposed to let you get away with some stupid reason like that? Why didn't you ever tell me you changed your last name sooner? I assumed you would have heard from mom and dad about how I found new parents and they adopted me. But to be fair, you never even listened to what I say anyway, and on top of that, after I ran away, you started to tell everyone you kicked me out of the house and that I was mentally ill. That was you spreading that rumor, right? Why would I care about you knowing about my situation after running away when you go and do things like that? Ah, that's right. How about you change your story about getting adopted and make it seem like I was adopted by them instead? If you let me become their child, then I'll let you have Keith back. What? All right, that's a pretty good idea, right? No, that right there is anything but a good idea. Why is it not good? I'm giving you back the man you love so much, right? In your case, you should be begging me to give him back to you. This is your chance. You think I'm still going to love the man that cheated on me with my little sister? Huh? That bastard told me why he went after you a little while ago and explained how much he loves you over me. As well as told me that you've been together for 6 months now. He told you that already? The fact that you're getting surprised by that is surprising. Then, what can I do for you that'll get you to let me be their kid? No matter what you do, you're not going to become their child. But that's not frickin' fair. You always get to have things your way, Heidi. Then, Joy, if you really want to become their new child, do you think you can speak 5 different languages within the next 2 years fluently like me? Huh? You have to be pretty globally sophisticated to be their child, as well as know a lot about my foster dad's company. What the heck? Why do I have to do all that? The reason for me being their foster child is because I helped my foster dad's business, and will someday be the one to take over their company. And that's going to be happening in the next 2 years, so I have to be ready. What? What does this even mean? If you can't do that, then stop trying to be their next child, okay? Also, in the next few days, I'll be asking for a settlement from you. A settlement? Why? Do you really think you could get away with stealing someone's husband and there'd be no consequences for it? Unlike all those times in the past, you're an adult now, and the only thing that can save you now is money, not your parents. So don't go trying to find a way out of this one, because you won't escape me. But you're asking for money from your own sister. Well, that's still up for debate, actually. whether you really are my little sister anymore or just some stranger to me. But either way, I'm getting a settlement. You're kidding me. In my case, I had my husband stolen from me, so I have the right to take you to court and make you pay for the damages caused. So make sure you pay every penny I ask for, and then get out of my life. But this shouldn't be happening.
Hey, Heidi, you're asking me for over $60,000? Why do I have to pay you that much? You should only be able to ask me for a smaller amount based on me cheating on you, right? I already have to deal with paying for that failed wedding and the wedding ring, but now I'm being asked to pay $60,000?
Well, when it comes to that wedding you have to pay for, you used both our money to start paying for it, right?
Wait, what?
And as for some of the money that I had in my private savings account, you used it as well on that wedding. I don't know how you figured out my PIN for that account, but you took my money without asking.
So you want me to give that back to you, huh?
Well, when you add in that money you took from me in our shared account, the settlement comes out to $60,000.
But I don't have that kind of money right now.
Do you not realize that you stole money from me to use on a wedding with my little sister while we've still been married? If you thought that was okay, then I find it okay to make you go into debt to pay me back. And you have no right complaining to me now, right?
But for some reason I haven't been able to get any response from Joy about this. And now I'm on my own facing $60,000. Wait, what the hell is going on here? Why did I have to end up dealing with all this by myself? What did I even do that was bad enough to deserve all this?
Maybe go back and look at what you were explaining to me a little while back about what you did and my sister did. Anyway, I'm going to have my lawyer be the one to deal with you now. So take the number that's on that business card I left for you and talk with my lawyer if you have anything else to say.
And you're just gonna leave me now?
You already know the answer to that question, Keith. Now, goodbye forever.
Wait a second, Heidi. Having to get divorced from you in this manner? I don't have anywhere to go if you leave me like this. Heidi!
To start, let's talk about my sister, Joy. She had tried to get her parents to pay off the settlement I had asked for from her, but not even they had the money to pay for what I was asking. Just a little while back, the business they had ended up going bankrupt, and they had to sell their house in order to pay the bank, and have since then been without proper jobs. So with whatever money they all did have, they used to pay me, and then all had to move away into a small and worn-down apartment together. Joyce still hasn't paid everything off that I've asked for yet, but I'll make sure that she pays me little by little until she'd met the amount I've asked for. And now, here's what happened with my ex-husband. He had touched money that was not his in the first place, and even then, after using said money, he didn't have anything left to pay me that $60,000 I asked for. He ended up having to borrow money to pay the money I was asking for off. And then after that, was left with no place to go. He began stalking Joy in hopes of getting money from her, and also handed in marriage paperwork to the city office without her approval. But what happens next with those two now that they might get married will have to be saved for another day, when there's more time to talk. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.